Our summer series, Catching Up with the Oshawa Generals, continues here on OntarioSportsRadio.com. I'm now joined by winger Justice Dundas. Justice, how's it going?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
How'd the season go for you as a whole? I know you had some injury trouble and then, the suspension got in the way, but overall, how did you feel your season went? Do you think it picked up towards the end there once you got more regular playing time?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the suspension was a big setback in the injury. I probably missed about 20 games for that, so it's always tough to stay in the groove of things missing such an extended period of time. But I felt as the season wore on, you can see it with the point production anyways, that I started to pick things up a bit, and especially as we got into the playoffs, I thought my game sort of came together, and I thought I was playing pretty well.
Now, you've been around for 2 seasons with the Gens. How does this team compare, the one that you just played on, compared to the one last year that got swept out by Barrie?
I think it was pretty similar makeup. The only thing different was really we're a younger team. I thought our first year we had a bit of a separation in the locker room, as has been said by our coach, but we had a really close-knit group, and we had an amazing locker room, and all the guys got on along really well, which correlates to the ice, and it really showed in our play. Because we obviously, you could just see we're so cohesive, and we had such a great team and such great chemistry that I think that's why we went so much farther than we did the year before.
How important is it for a guy like Scott Lawton to come in? Obviously, he's disappointed, but to show no ego at all and come into that locker room, did it make it a lot easier for everybody?
Yeah, well, no kidding. Anytime you get a veteran presence, especially with the leadership and all the experience he has with the World Juniors, etc., even though getting sent back from Philadelphia must have been a huge hit for him, he choked and swallowed his pride, and he came in and he really contributed well, and he was a great asset for our team, and it was unbelievable to have him back, especially for young kids, too, to just learn from him and see what he does on a daily basis and know how much it really takes and how much dedication you have to put in to make it to the next level.
Now, you talk about the leadership on the team. A lot of people thought that once Lawton would come back, if he came back, he'd be named the captain, but Josh Brown was named captain, and it wasn't temporary. He was there all year. How important was the leadership of Josh Brown?
Yeah, well, Josh Brown certainly was a tremendous leader. He's a really good guy. And he's one of those guys who pushes guys to be better. So it was great for naming him captain. He was a really great captain, and he really helped push our team. And especially the big thing is, especially with young kids coming in, moving away from home, making them feel comfortable, but also trying to get them to compete their best and give their best every night. And he was really good at that, and he really kept our team close-knit. And obviously it showed. We had a really tight group, and that's a big showing for him. That was all due to him.
We're talking to Justice Dundas, forward for the Oshawa Generals. Justice, in terms of the rookies, you've talked about the young guys a lot. How did they fit into the team, and which one out of them really impressed you, or was it a collection of all of them really being impressive?
Yeah, well, it was all the guys, especially. You could see, obviously, the big ones were Mitchell Van de Sample and Sam Hardinger, the 2 young draft picks coming in, but also there were guys like Stephen DeRoche, Jacob Bush, Aiden Wallace. They all came in there, and they really did a fantastic job. And they were huge cornerstones for our team, and they really helped us win.
Yeah, you talk about guys like Bush and DeRoche. How big are they going to be moving forward, and how big was the experience going all the way to the conference finals? Obviously, it didn't go the way you guys wanted it to, but moving forward, how is that going to help your team? Because you're going to have a lot of kids coming back.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. We have a lot of returning guys. That's probably the key difference from my first year in Oshawa to the second year, where we lost a lot of guys. But now with all these young guys coming in, it's a tremendous thing for them to be able to go that deep in the playoffs and see how things work especially for them. They're going to be the leaders of next year's team and so on. So to be able to take that in and have what all the older guys showed and be able to reproduce that for the other young guys coming in, it's going to be huge.
Now, you mentioned the coaching staff. Obviously, you guys lose Paul McFarland. He goes over to Kingston. How big of a loss was that? And the addition of Eric Wellwood, have you had a chance to talk to him at all?
Yeah, I have. I met Eric Wellwood. We had physical testing for our summer training, and I met him, and he seems like he's going to be a tremendous assistant coach in the league, and he's going to really help because he was just out of the league. He played in the National Hockey League in the last couple of years, so the stuff, all his knowledge he's going to bring to the table is going to be tremendous. And losing Paul McFarland it's a big hit, but obviously because he was a tremendous assistant coach and he was a really great guy. But I wish him nothing but the best. I know he's going to do outstanding things in Kingston. Now,
you're going into your overage season this year, and what expectations do you have for yourself coming into the season, and what do you want to do to ensure that you get that contract offer from the National Hockey League?
I'll just keep playing my role, and guys, certainly if I started getting point production, I might lose sight of my role, but just play my game and play as hard as I can every night and bring my qualities to the table for the team and just do whatever I can to help our team win. And obviously it shows with teams that win championships, contracts are given out to them most especially. So all I'm really worried about for next year is just helping our team win and going as far as we can in the playoffs.
Finally, last thing we want to ask you, how's the summer training going, and have you stepped onto the ices yet?
Oh, I'm really big on the ice, so I played shinny probably 30 times already. So, but summer training is good. I'm just starting to get really back into working out and stuff, and it's tough going back into the grind, I guess we call it, is the grind, and it's tough at the start just because your body's so used to relaxing, but now I'm getting back in the groove of things, and it's going really well.
Yeah, I definitely understand that proposition. Well, that was Justice Dundas, and Justice, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you at training camp.
All right, awesome.